the Lamprey Dissection Petromyzoniformes. I'm going to go through all the different things that you need to see. Some of them are going to be a little bit harder for you to see, some will be a little bit easier. Of course, this particular organism was dissected a few hours ago, so it's going to look a little stale, but we're going to do the best we can. All right, looking at the external structures first. Are we okay with that?
Ugh.
All right, fabulous. Okay, so what you're looking at is the oral cavity or the oral region that I asked you to take a look at. You have the buccal funnel, okay, because that is the mouth itself. As you go through the dissection itself, it asks you to notice the gill slits. So if I slightly turn this organism to the side here, what you're going to notice is a series of openings. You guys see them all there?
Yeah.
All right, these openings right here are the gill slits. All right. The next portion is the medial nostril. All right. The medial nostril is located between the eyes. So if you... Can I borrow somebody's probe, please? That means one of you is going to have to stop for just a quick second.
Kylie, can I sit there?
Sit
Kylie, because this is a bad spot for a camera.
No.
Come on, you're not even
That's not my good
video.
side.
No, it's like you're just covering like the entire thing.
Yeah, I can't see.
Kylie,
Okay.
Kylie, you're not even video.
Just get over
Shut
there.
up.
Just get over there.
No, you.
Okay, so these are the very primitive eyes that are located on the side here. You can see the lighter regions. Between the eyes is a hole structure, and you can actually insert the probe into the hole. All right, that is the medial nostril. It's called medial because it's middle. All right, makes sense. Directly behind the medial nostril, you're going to find kind of a softer, lighter colored region, and underneath that region is going to be the penile organ. When you insert the probe into the medial nostril, it goes through a tube, and that tube then leads to this particular portion, and you can see where the probe has gone in through the medial nostril. It's coming out this particular structure right here, and that's the olfactory sac. Just behind the olfactory sac, you're going to actually notice the brain, and you'll see the spinal cord and the notochord in a little bit, but this is kind of the beginning of it. All right. If we continue down the lamprey, and the lamprey is located on its ventral region, you're going to notice two sets of dorsal fins. We have the anterior dorsal fin because it's located closer to the front of the body. And then if we move further down, you can see where the slit is. This is the posterior dorsal fin. All right. At the very end of the organism, you have this fabulous tail. This tail is actually called a diphtherical tail. You'll see in sharks, the cartilaginous organisms, they're going to have a heterocircle tail, and in osteichthyes, or your bony fish, they're going to have a homocircle tail, and this one's called diphtherical, where it actually comes to a point. Okay? Going back to the buccal funnel, you can see inside there's a series of horny teeth, which are the orange-like structures, where the probe is pointing. And then around the outsides, they're like taste buds. They're called the papillae. And then inside this particular structure, if you were to insert the probe, you're going to actually hit a hard plate, which is going to be the tongue of the organism. Remember that the tongue is used to scrape off any of the external skin, and then they put an anticoagulant on the organism to prevent the organism they're trying to suck the blood out from clotting, and that way it provides a continuous flow of food to them. All right, the next thing you're going to have to look at is, of course, the cloaca, which is the cloacal and anal opening. And if you go back to the tail or posterior region of the organism where they have the cut itself, and you just go anterior to the cross-section that they've created, you're going to find a hole. And that hole, that hole is going to be the cloacal opening, and the cloaca and anus are in this area. All right, I asked you to identify myotomes and myoseptums. What you're looking at is a piece of flesh here from the lamprey. You're going to skin the organism, and you're going to be able to note these. But just to give you kind of a definitions, what you have is myo references muscle, and then septa is something as a division of. So if I'm talking about a myoseptum, I'm talking about a division of a muscle fiber. So if you have like a fillet of salmon or you're eating fish, you notice that there's lines on the salmon between the actual meat itself, which would be the myotomes or the muscle. That's what you're looking at here. So the little tiny lines that you see are the myoseptums because they're dividing it. And you can see the myoseptums between this area right here. And the yellowish or creamy colored structure here is going to be the myotomes. If you're looking on this area, it's going to be the thicker bands are going to be the myotomes, and the thinner bands are going to be the myoseptum because that's the muscles and its division. You can kind of see that, yeah, maybe not. You can't see that one there. All right, I'm going to take that out. When you look at this particular portion of the organism, you're going to skin it, and this is what you can see here. It kind of sounds like Velcro coming off. This whole structure right here, these are all eggs. All of those are eggs. If you don't have these, you obviously have a male. Okay. In order to find the intestines on the female with all of these eggs, you kind of have to gently remove some of the eggs. And then, of course, this white structure is going to come out, and this is going to be your intestinal tract. If you go and you follow from the cloaca all the way up the intestines, you're going to run into this gray-like structure right here. This is going to allow for buoyancy because it is the liver. Just anterior to the liver is going to be the heart, and it's in this sac right here. All right. It's very primitive. There's not a lot of stuff going on in the heart area. All right, looking at a cross section, so if I were to take the organism and cut it, this area happens to be right next to the heart. So what you're looking at is the heart region right here, and then behind it would, of course, be the liver, but we've removed that portion of it, and we've removed the posterior portion of this organism. When you're looking at the cross section, you're going to look for a couple things. You're going to look for this particular structure right here, which is going to be the spinal cord, and just below the spinal cord is going to be the notochord. The notochord is thicker, and that's, or it has a larger diameter, so you'll be able to tell the difference just by looking at that. All right, that's pretty much everything that you need to identify. Yep, all right, that's good. We got it covered. So I'm going to start handing them out to you, and